Let's go. Running back from the top. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Another edition of KFTV's Bleacher Report simulcast. CP the franchise in the building. On today's show, the Block Ness Monster, Mitchell Robinson's debut is on the horizon. We're going to go through some comments made by the Knicks coach, Tom Thibodeau. We're going to hear from Tibbs, hear what he had to say. Some interesting comments. Knicks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers today. Plus, who will get the last and final roster spot? We are getting closer to the February 28th, March 1st deadline where the Knicks will be able to afford a free agent veteran on the buyout market, and that person will be eligible for the playoffs. So lots to discuss. As you guys know, man, you know the deal, man. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. YouTube, Bleacher Report, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. We are live and direct with the number one show for the fans, by the fans. Let's get it going. Let's go. All right, man. Let's go. Salute, salute. All right, let's get down to business, man. YouTube side, salute to the family, my franchise channel members. Salute, J. Cole, I see you in here. All my franchise channel members, salute to you guys. Salute to everybody watching on Bleacher Report as well. Facebook, Twitter, X, you guys know the damn thing. Knicks taking on the Sixers tonight. 7 o'clock, early start time, because this game is going to be on ESPN, another national TV game. And hopefully the one that the Knicks can win. You know what I'm saying? They have not fared too well these national TV tilts. They've actually been getting scrubbed out. So let's hope tonight against a severely undermanned Sixer team that the Knicks can actually come up with a W. And speaking of W's, the Block Ness Monster. Is he on the way? I think he is, because sources told you, man, TP the franchise yesterday, sources close to the team, that the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson is looking, and Mitchell Robinson rather, they're looking at a Friday target. Friday with the Knicks taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. So cross your fingers. It could be Friday when the Knicks tear the covers off on Mitchell Robinson, their new gift, hopefully, to this Knicks defense. And what I'm hearing is he's going to be on a strict minutes restriction. Now, some of you guys joke like, knowing Tibbs, that means 30 minutes. I guess we could laugh at that, but reality is they're going to bring him along slowly, as we all thought, but you could expect, 5-minute stints. Back to the bench. 5 minute, get some work in, back to the bench. That's how they're going to gradually get Mitchell Robinson in here, because he's got to get into game shape. 25 games left in this season, and so the Block Ness Monster has to get up to speed. You can't just throw him out there and expect good things to happen. So that's the story there as it relates to the Block Ness Monster. And he was on, Instagram. Mitch, he's heavy with the social media, as these kids are. Mitch, his last Instagram shows him at the practice facility in Tarrytown. It says, maximize the opportunity, hashtag standing on business. So the Block Ness Monster is getting ready, and his return is loading. Now, speaking of his return, Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau met with the media, and a couple of interesting things that Tibbs said as it relates to Mitchell Robinson. Let's hear from Tibbs. Let's hear from the coach of the New York Knicks and react to it on the other side. Let's hear from Tibbs. Here we go. Let me just load this up. I got to make sure, Instagram can see this a little bit. All right, here's Tibbs on Mitch and the work he's putting in. Here we go.
Good. He did everything today. He was active, very active.
Do you need to see something specifically with Mitch before you get out?
It's more like how he feels the next day. So he's doing everything, taking contact, and then he has to get clearance from medical.
All right, so Tibbs says he's doing everything he needs to do, and then the final hurdle is just getting cleared from medical. But he's taking contact, he's doing everything, he's practicing, All the guys at practice talking about how he's playing out there. So sounds just about ready. Just depends on how he feels. Now, here was another comment from Tibbs that had the people talking a little bit. Let's hear from Tibbs, and we will react to it. Here we go.
I'm talking about those things that you need to get better at in the last game, rebounding, and how much does Mitch factor into that when he comes back? Like, what kind of lift does he give you?
Well, and I think you have to look at it and say, okay, Mitch was projected to be the starting center on the team. So we've gone 50-something games without our starting center. And I think guys have done a really good job stepping in. Could we do better? I always believe we could do better. So, Mitch is an elite pick-and-roll defender, an elite rim protector. He's an elite offensive rebounder. Those are things that, are critical.
All right, so that was Tibbs saying that he was always projected to be the Knicks starting center. I thought that was very interesting. Is that, Tibbs capping here, as the young kids say? Is he capping? Because a big reason why they acquired Karl-Anthony Towns was to accentuate on his strengths, which is as a five-out system, stretch the floor out, and we've seen offensively, at least for the better parts of the season, how that's impacted this Knicks team. The reality is, on the other end, it's been absolutely dreadful, and they've been getting dog-walked on the defensive end with Towns at the 5. So, was that really the plan all along? I don't know, but I think it is a very interesting comment here from Tibbs, because a lot of you have been asking, is Mitch going to eventually start? Is Mitch going to eventually start? Now, I don't think that's going to be the case just coming in, just because, as I said, they got to get him into game shape. And as I've been told, it's going to be, expect like a 15-minute run in his debut. So they're going to bring him along slowly, and they should, because he hasn't been healthy. Can't just rip the Band-Aid off and throw him into the fire. Definitely, that would be malpractice. But does this mean that we're going to get eventually heavy minutes with a Twin Tower look? Very interesting comments there by Tom Thibodeau. Look, you're going to have to look at it as we've seen so far this year. Towns at the 5 is just not sustainable defensively, especially when you come up against the better teams in the league. The Clevelands, the Bostons, and hey, maybe even in the playoffs first round if you see Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. Because he's arrived right now. Cade is killing. He's terrorizing the league right now. They're playing Boston tonight. So you're going to have to see more of those lineups. So how do the Knicks utilize Mitchell Robinson when he comes back? I think absolutely off the bench at first. So maybe you see him substitute in for Karl-Anthony Towns. So maybe you see Mitch running with the 4-man, with the Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG, with Mitch at the 5. And then he'll come in with Towns. And, you can see a number of combinations there. You could see Towns with that second unit, with Mitch taking Precious's spot. Or does Tibbs go with, once Mitch gets ramped up, does he go Brunson, Bridges, OG, Towns, and Mitch? Because I think if they do go to that big man lineup, and if they do ultimately choose to start Mitchell Robinson, the most likely candidate to go to the bench is going to be Josh Hart. He's the most versatile. He's the most adaptable. And some of you feel like that's his best position, is Josh Hart off the bench. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens once Mitch comes back, because there's going to be a lot of adjusting that needs to be done. Not just defensively, getting everybody on the same page, but offensively, because if you put Mitch out there in those Twin Tower sets, you put Hart on the bench. The one thing about Hart, and as we look at how this Knicks offense is kind of been on a decline, especially when you play the better teams, The ball movement has stagnated. The cutting has stagnated. One thing about Hart is that, number one, he's an underrated playmaker and passer. So you're putting that on the bench to put Mitch out there. Number two, when things get stuck, when things get into a grind and you're not shooting your threes at a high clip, or you're not hitting your threes at an efficient clip, or you're stuck in the mud in the half court, the one thing about Hart is at least he can get you out in transition and speed up the pace. And that has boded well for the Knicks. Guys who, like a Mikal Bridges, they got to play faster to get Mikal Bridges to pop off, in my opinion. So it's a tricky combination here that Tibbs is going to be working with as it relates to Mitchell Robinson. That's why I like Hart so much, and his versatility on the offensive side is because he can do so much to kind of change things. He's that change of pace back, if you will, from a football reference. Denver Henry on the Facebook side says Mitch eventually can and should start some games, but I don't think it matters who's on the court when the ball goes up. All about matchups. Hey, I'm with you. Because some of you also say, hey, it don't matter when you play Boston because Boston can still play Mitch off the floor. And you know what? You're right. But let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's just get him healthy because he can still help. And they can match up accordingly. Because you might have a situation, you go back to Boston, let's say you get past whoever in the first round, you go to Boston second round, you might have a situation where you might have to lean on Precious at the 5. You might have to go super small at the 5 to match up defensively with what Boston is throwing at you with Porzingis and their ability to just break you down off the pick and roll. You might have to go to that. And I know, the offensive issues that have occurred with Precious in that rotation, especially playing alongside Josh Hart, it gets tricky, especially offensively when you trap them in the half court. Things start to slow down. But that's where Tibbs is going to have to earn his pay here. He's going to have to earn his pay, and they're going to have to get more versatile offensively and more creative. Not every team has 5 shooters, 5 playmakers out there in the offensive end to be effective. One of the things that you notice when they're playing Hart and Precious in those lineups together is nobody's cutting, nobody's moving. Those two guys who are not the best shooters, or in Hart's case, not the most confident shooter, those guys should be cutting. They should be executing dribble handoffs. They should be setting screens, off-ball screens. Like, there's different ways to get those non-shooters involved in the offense to make them impactful and to make the defense work. That's what you have to be able to make the defense work to create those advantages for your offense. So there's ways to do that. Tibbs just has to be able to make those adjustments. Now, Toby H says Precious is a power forward. Hey, I don't know what other answers you're looking for to play Boston with that lineup. You put Towns at the 5, he's cooked. You put Mitch at the 5, he might do a little bit better, but you still got to deal with the Porzingis popping out for 3. And Porzingis, his range at his size, it goes pretty far. D-Roy says, per James Edwards trilogy, Tibbs clarified that he didn't say Mitch will start when he gets back. Said that was the plan before the season started. Yeah, I didn't say that he was going to start when he got back. But the question that I'm asking is, does that mean we see a lot more of these two together? And maybe he does start down the road, or depending on how the matchup goes in the playoffs once he's back up to speed. Flizzy Flex, I see you in the building. Shout out to everybody on the Bleacher Report side, everybody on the IG side. CP the franchise in the building. Knicks and the Sixers tipping off at 7 o'clock. Early start time. Keep it locked here on KFTV for the play-by-play show and the post-game show as well. So that was that. What else we got here? Who is going to pick up the final roster spot? Remember, February 28th / March 1st is going to be the 2 dates that you're going to pay attention to. that will be the date where the Knicks will be able to afford a veteran on the buyout market. You know, some of you've been seeing a lot of these veterans getting snapped up. Boston got Torrey Craig. You saw Lonnie Walker got picked up. Okeke got picked up by Philly, and then he got dropped. So guys are getting scooped up, and people are wondering, you know, hey, Bones Highland just got picked up by the Timberwolves, if those of you that are interested. So a lot of you like, you know, what are the Knicks waiting for? Why aren't they snapping these guys up? Because they can't afford it. That's just reality of the brutal CBA, the new CBA rules. They just can't afford to pick these guys up. So at that moment, the February 28th moment, is when they'll be able to sign a buyout candidate. Now, is it going to be TJ Warren? Is it going to be TJ? I hope so. You know, I'd be going for TJ. I'm with TJ. You know, TJ Warren, journeyman, veteran wing. He's been around the league. His claim to fame, he dropped the 50. He had a 50-point game with the Pacers many years ago in the bubble year. He's a scorer. Some of you guys like to liken him to my guy, Alec Burks, a.k.a. Big Money, not so fast. But he can shoot. He can score. All right, he set the Westchester record in the G League, 47 points or something like that. You know, I don't get impressed over G League stats. They are what they are. It's the G League. You know what I mean? But anyway, in TJ Warren's case, look, the Knicks need somebody who can log minutes. I think it's important. Some people are like, man, he's not going to play anyway. I think he should. Because the way I see OG moving around out there, hell, you even got Karl Anthony Towns. Like on a night like tonight, Towns should be sitting. You got Philadelphia, they're the walking infirmary. This is not a night where you need Karl Anthony Towns, so you shouldn't. The way he was looking in Boston looked crazy. So I would sit him. OG not moving well. You got Josh Hart with a chronic injury. If I'm management, if I'm Leon and those guys, if I'm Dolan, yo, bring this guy up and make sure he's getting 5-10 minutes. Hey, if Landry got to come out the lineup, get him out the lineup. I got to get him in here. You can't do any worse than what Landry Shaman is giving you right now in his limited minutes. Can't get any worse. And, you know, with the Knicks sometimes being so stuck in the mud, we talk about their lack of good shot creators. This is a guy right here. Got to pick him up. They were linked to Chris Duarte. I don't know if the Chris Duarte stuff is real. Maybe that's the guy. But I'm not really a big fan of him. I'd roll the dice with Warren. Second place, I would go with Okeke. Give me a guy who can play tough, play physical, and play some defense. Give me a scrapper. I always like scrappers. If Okeke can go in there and get the job done, hey, all I need 5-10 minutes, then let's go with Okeke. I'm not really a big Chris Duarte guy. I don't see much in him. So we'll see what happens. So February 28th, I think we'll find out more. And then March 1st is the deadline to sign them so that they are playoff eligible. In order to be eligible for the playoffs, anybody they pick up, they got to do it before March 1st. So that's the story there. What do you guys want in the chat, man? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Is it Okeke? Is it TJ Warren? Is it a guy like a Chris Duarte? Who do you guys like, man? Salute to everybody in the chat. Knicks and Sixers coming up at 7 o'clock. The Budfather and IG said, please no Duarte. I'm not a big Duarte guy, man. I'm not a big Duarte guy, for real. But I do think it is important, given the injuries and how, like, gingerly, like, OG did not look good. He don't look good, man. Is the dog even going to make it to April? I don't know. So we got to do something there. I'm just looking at my agenda here, make sure I'm getting everything going. Yeah, so that's the 15 spot. Hey, additionally, man, I want to see some changes that I want to see as this team goes forward. We need more McBride into the mix. Been saying it. McBride has to get more minutes. As a matter of fact, he's going to be my underdog pick tonight when I make my underdog picks at the end of the show. We need more McBride. The data, the eye test tells you got to get him more into the mix in these lineups. Your defense is already suffering. You're not even rebounding well when you're putting Precious out there. I think Precious, he's coming down. He's in a little bit of a slide. Go to McBride. That was a nice little ball right there. He's in a slide. Go to McBride. We need McBride in the mix here. He's shooting the ball well. Boston, he didn't shoot the ball all that well. But overall, I think McBride needs more minutes here in the mix. Let's get McBride going. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. CP the franchise here. And salute to everybody, man. Let me make a quick announcement here while I have your attention. South Florida Knicks fans, we are coming back. Shout out to everybody down in Miami, down in the 305, Fort Lauderdale. We are coming back this Sunday, man. Knicks versus Heat. We will be headed to the game, and before the game, meet us if you guys are coming down to the game. If you guys are in the area or you planning to travel down, meet us at Black Market Bayside at 3 p.m., 401 Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, right across the street from the stadium. Pre-game meetup. Last year, we had like 100 people pull up last year. We had a lot of fun. Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, right across. I'm bugging out. We had a lot of people, good turnout. People from all over, from New York, tri-state, and then obviously local in the Miami-Dade area. And yeah, it's a good time. You got seating inside. You got balcony seating. Obviously, the weather should be nice. And you just pull up, man. Order your food. Pull up, have a good time. Mix and mingle with your fellow Knicks fan before we go into the game and get a victory. The game starts at 6 o'clock. So we'll pull up at 3. And that's the story, man. Hopefully we can see some of you guys. We got a lot of people getting their tickets. All free to get in. Just go to KFTVmeetup.com to get your tickets, man. Pre-game happy hour, Black Market Bayside. All right? So that is the announcement for this Sunday in Miami. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Did you guys see this? Josh Hart getting fined for a flop against the Boston Celtics. I remember watching this live on Sunday, and I did see Josh Hart, go flying. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And I'm actually, pissed off at this point because I felt like, yo, did he really get, was he really aggrieved here? And then you look at it, you look at the replay, and he takes a complete dive. Well, Adam Silver and the NBA did not like that because they just fined our guy $2,000 for that one. All right, so Josh Hart gets fined $2,000 for one of the worst flops all season. I don't know what that was, Josh. You got to be easy. And then here was Josh Hart on Twitter. He says, dang, no Oscar for me. You got the Oscars coming up on Sunday. So Josh Hart, no Oscar for me. $2,000. Yeah. $2,000 there for Josh Hart. So Josh you gotta call up Triple H, man. Josh, you gotta call Triple H and learn how to sell. Because you're not selling there, Josh. Come on, man. You're not selling. But yeah, $2,000 for that, man. League said knock it off. Alan C in the YouTube chat says low-key bad acting job. Yeah. That was terrible, man. What were you thinking? And you got bad knees, you got bad this, bad that, and you just jumping on the floor for no reason in the first quarter of the game. I mean, I figured there's a better way to use your energy, like playing defense or taking a three. If you don't mind, we need threes. Save your energy against the champs for more productive reasons. I ran out there just jumping on the floor. To no avail, and it costs you money. It costs you a 30-point game and $2,000 for the flight home. Come on, man. You gotta be smarter than that. But I rock with Josh. And speaking of Josh and Philly, did you guys see that Paul George is scrapping his podcast? Paul George, because Philly, you guys think the Knicks are in bad shape at 37-20 with the third seed in the East. Paul George and the roommate and his podcast, he said, I'm shutting it down. He said he's shutting down Podcast P, man. I mean, talk about awareness. The team is god awful, hot garbage. He's out there talking about, oh man, we just don't have championship habits. Like, bro, what do you think they brought you in there for? And that's why, man, for the past 2 years, when y'all was trying to tell me, let's go get Paul George, I said, I'm good. Because look, as good as a guy like a Paul George is, like some guys, man, like when they hit that northwards of 30 and they got the injuries there, those are not guys you want to just be chasing for championships, man. The hunger is just not there, man. He's done his days. You don't bring that guy in and trade for the guy, then pay him mad money, Nah, so yeah, I'm good with being a Knicks fan. We're in good shape. I'm not too mad about that, because like, look where Philly is with Paul George and these guys, man. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. So yeah, so I gotta wonder, at what point do Jalen and Josh and them shut down roommates? Are they gonna shut it down and get ready for the Sixers? I mean, get ready for the playoffs. Or Jalen and Josh, are they gonna plan to shut it down? I gotta wonder. What do you guys think, man? I know some of you fans don't like that. I mean, to me, it's like, yo, do what you do on your off time. I don't really care. But some of you guys, like, don't really need that. But for Paul George and you playing in Philly, Philly's not the Clippers. That's not LA Clippers. This is Philly. So, you're gonna catch them tomatoes, man, when it comes to performing, because Philly that's what they want. They want performance, bro. You got to put up, man. So yeah, that's the state of Philly. Mitchell Robinson on the way back. Let's talk about it. And let's make our underdog picks for tonight, man. Shout out to our guys at Underdog Fantasy. Go to underdogfantasy.com or use your Underdog app. Use our code KFTV for up to $1,000 plus a free pick. Now, with Underdog Fantasy, you have 2 games you can choose from: the daily fantasy games or the pick'ems. Now, for the pick'em side, you pick between 2 to 8 players, and you're going to predict whether or not that player goes higher or lower on a given stat projection that Underdog Fantasy has laid out. And you can win up to 300 times your money. All right, so I wrote these down. Now, usually I like to, get your picks in here, but I wrote these down because in the interest of time, because I want to wrap up before the game starts and get to pregame. I'm going with, this is my Nick sheet. This is my Nick sheet here. So I'm going with, and like I said, Karl-Anthony Towns is questionable for this game. I wouldn't play him at all. And if he doesn't play, I like this pick even more. But I'm going with Josh Hart. It's the guy we just talked about. I'm going with Josh Hart versus the Philadelphia 76ers with higher than 26.5 points and rebounds. 26.5 points and rebounds. Josh Hart coming off of Boston. He had 31 against Boston, 28 against Atlanta, and 40 against the Pacers. So in his last 3 games that he played, he's gone higher than this number. I think this is a good one here against a 76er team who a number of players are not playing, including Joel Embiid. So I think there will be a ton of opportunities for Josh Hart to accumulate those rebounds and get those points, especially if Karl-Anthony Towns does not play in this game. That Philly defense is ripe for it. Okay, who else did I like in this game? Let me get back to, my guy Deuce. The Deuce is loose. I'm going with Miles McBride, man. Higher than 7.5 points in this one. I'm going with Deuce. Higher than 7.5 points. Now, I call this one my all Nick sheet. Oh, they took him down. Wow. Well, never mind that, because I was just getting ready to take Emmanuel quickly in this game. And they change. See, this is the thing with Underdog. Like they'll change the numbers a little bit based on, news or projections. So I was getting ready to pick Emmanuel quickly with the Raptors taking on the Pacers at home, and now Underdog is taking off all the Raptors picks for now. So I may not be able to get that until later on. So I got 2 Knicks picks. What else do you guys like? I'll let you guys pick this next one, man. Let's go back to the Knicks versus Sixers game. I got to pick Philly. You can't pick all Knicks. You can't pick all Knicks. So you got to pick either another game and a player or somebody on Philadelphia. So what do you guys think, man? I'll let you guys pick and let me know what you like. Let's see. You say glad I pivoted OG. Oh, yeah. Snowball, Santa, that's Philly. Okay. Sick Cat. Yeah, no Mitch. Cat 40. All right, so, I mean, Maxey, 28.5 points. Oubre. How about Quentin Grimes? No, I'm not putting no money in Quentin Grimes. Kelly Oubre. Now, his point totals are at 16.5, 5.5 rebounds, 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Kelly Oubre Jr. I don't know if Cat's playing. So you guys like Oubre. Now, you can slide the numbers down. Like, if 16.5 is too high, we can go down. You're just going to win a little bit less. 15. So somebody in the chat saying 15. All right, so let's see this. Let's see Oubre. Even if we slide it to like 12.5, you could still get some cash here. So are we going over? I don't think Yabusele's playing. Nephew, let me get a jump shot. I don't think Yabusele's playing. So should we go Oubre higher or lower than 12.5 points? We could go points on Oubre. Let's see what his last couple of games are looking like. 19, 14, 16, 30, and 12. So even at that 15 mark, he's hit higher than 15 in 3 out of his last 5. He said 15 for Oubre sounds good. All right, so let's do that. So we'll drop it. 16.5 might be a little too high. All right, so we'll drop it at 12.5. And then you'll get a little bit less on your multiplier. But we'll do that. So here it is right here. And I'll put in $20. And we'll go standard pay. So $20 to win 78. And they're the picks. Josh Hart higher than 26.5 points and rebounds. Deuce McBride higher than 7.5 points. And Kelly Oubre Jr. higher than 12.5 points. All right, that's where we're going tonight. Shout out to my guy RGT in the chat for the for the hookup there, man. Shout out to my guy RGT. So there we go. All right, so that's that, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Game time, 7 o'clock. Stick around here for play-by-play live with CK2K. We'll see what CK's picks are for tonight, and then we'll be back for post-game. Me and JD will be on post-game tonight, and we'll recap all of that. We'll talk more Mitch. We'll take your phone calls. You guys already know, man. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. All right, Bleacher Report. I'll see you guys on Friday. See everybody on Friday. IG, tap in. We'll see you guys on Friday as well. And, yeah, like I said, man, KFTVmeetup.com for those of you in the Miami area or those of you that will be headed down this Sunday for the Knicks versus Heat matchup. Looking forward to seeing you guys again, or some of you for the first time. So make sure you guys pull up and let's get together, man. All right? See you guys in a bit, man. Peace.